Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Jeezy TV. First video of the day. We're just gonna live stream a Soprano video because there was no Kanye album, no nothing tonight. So I figured, we would just cover the Sopranos. I don't know when Kanye plans on dropping that album, but when he does, we will be checking it out on the channel. But we're here with the 53rd episode of The Sopranos. This is the season opener for season 5. I cannot believe we are on season 5. We are zooming through this show. I say this 50 million times, I guess, but it's true, man. It's kind of crazy that we're just getting through the show like this. Obviously, there's a couple new characters to open the season, which is obviously important. You need that. You need to develop stories with new characters, give the fans a refreshing experience. And there's an unfortunate passing, I guess, but let's get into what happened, and then we'll talk about all the important events. So yeah, let's get into it. So Bobby Bacalari and Janice are now married, so they definitely skipped a couple chapters here with the new season. They do that all the time. I'm fine with it. It moves the story forward. You don't need to have 20 seasons like the freaking Walking Dead has, or 10. I'm kind of exaggerating. That's my fault. Why does the light always make it look like I have something right here? That's so weird to me. I have nothing on my lip right here. But 1 year after his separation, Tony is living in his mother's former home, which makes sense. So one evening, a large black bear appears while AJ's in the backyard. It's kind of fucking funny, honestly. It's kind of one of those just comedic relief pieces for the show. Terrified, he calls for Carmela, who drives off the bear and calls the authorities. They try to get this animal control unit to come and take care of it. So Tony visits the next day and talks to Carmela, but the discussion turns hostile when she criticizes him for buying AJ too many gifts and spoiling him, I guess. I don't know, because he's been acting like a brat lately. I don't know. As they argue about money, Carmela accuses Tony of calling Italy on his cell phone, and he tells her that Ferrio's life is finished if certain people find him. I don't know if that's true. I feel like she's being a little dramatic. Tony asks Benny and little Polly to guard his backyard, and Carmela reluctantly supplies him with a rifle. She's like, okay, fine, here you go. Like, I don't need this. I don't want Tony helping me in any fucking way, But after watching The Prince of Tides with his mistress Valentina, Tony feels driven to see Dr. Melfi again and sends flowers and a greeting card to her office. So he is really going in. Like, he's really making a move on Melfi. And this is a super interesting episode for those two's kind of dynamic, because it's never really gotten taken this far. And it's so funny how The Prince of Tides is so parallel to what's happening between Melfi and Tony right now. I don't know. It's kind of wild. When he calls her to set up a date, she declines, feeling that it would be unprofessional to date a former client. I mean, that is kind of true, but at the same time, not that you're not really in a professional environment, you don't really have a professional relationship with each other. I mean, why not? That's not a good reason. I agree with Tony on that front, but eventually he just takes it too far, and it's kind of crazy. So Melfi has a sexual dream about Tony, so we know she has kind of romantic feelings for her. Lorraine Bracco is so fine. Oh my god. Okay, moving on. Sorry. She's MILF material. Let's move on. He then schedules an appointment, an opportunity to tell her he loves her. This isn't going to be a therapy session. This is going to be a moment for Tony to confess his love for her, which is fucking wild. He forcibly kisses her. She tactfully makes him desist. He kind of fucking sexually assaulted her there, to be honest, but it's not like she didn't like it, I guess. I don't know. So in a therapy session with her own psychiatrist, Melfi sees another psychiatrist to kind of talk about her profession. Melfi admits her initial attraction to Tony. She liked him at first, but then she realized what kind of a person he was. But Tony makes a third attempt to court her by offering cruise tickets, but she declines again. She can't go away with him. She can't go on a date with him. Get over it, Tony. It's not going to happen, man. So at his request, she tells him the aspects of his character she cannot accept, that there are things he cannot bear to hear, and he storms out. He kind of proves her point there, because he doesn't like women, he can't handle the truth. Not like he wants everything to go his way, and when it doesn't, he gets pissed off. So those are qualities probably a lot of the mob members have that most women don't like in them. Most of the other women only got with them for money and for security for their children and all that stuff. Which, is that respectable? I don't really know, honestly. I don't know. It is what it is. So, he returns home in a sense and takes over guard duty from Benny. So, Four mobsters imprisoned in the 1980s are released on parole, and I really like how the show did this because it's going to open for so many storylines. Some of them are going to try to get back in the game. Some of them are going to relive some stories, tell stories. It's going to be awesome. Three of them are a generation older than Tony. Soprano family capo Michael Feach Lamana, Lupertazzi family consigliere Angelo Garipe, and Lupertazzi capo Phil Leotardo. The fourth is Tony's cousin, Tony B. Blondetto, who he has a really close connection with, or he had a close connection with before he got imprisoned. So, Feach wishes to return to work as a shy and sports bettor, which Tony and Uncle Junior permit so long as he does not compete with other operators. They don't want him getting too tense with other people. They want him to kind of just go out there and do his own thing. And you can do a little bit on the side as long as you're not shooting guns and going after people and finding ways to get yourself easily imprisoned again. That's not what they want for him. So Tony is excited about Tony B's release because they used to be close friends and plans a lavish welcome party. So I'm assuming in the coming episodes he is going to be returning, which is going to be pretty cool. So Carmine Lupertazzi has a stroke while having lunch with Tony, Angelo, and Johnny Sack at a country club, ending up in the hospital. That's obviously unfortunate. I mean, if he dies, I think Johnny Sack's going to be the boss. So that'll be super interesting. Maybe him and Tony will clash. Maybe they'll form a partnership. There's a lot of interesting things you could predict about the show moving forward with events like this happening. So there, Johnny tells Tony that he is still angry that he backed out of their agreement to kill Carmine the previous year, and this obviously feels kind of backhanded. It feels kind of inappropriate of Johnny Sack to bring this up. I don't know. Still holding a grudge. So Christopher and Polly confront each other when their retelling of their Pine Barrens ordeal devolves into mutual recriminations. I don't know why you get so pissed over a fucking story. I guess it's just the pride of these men. I don't know. It's really weird. So Christopher begins to resent the custom that, being of lower rank, he is expected to pay when they dine in at a restaurant. It kind of makes sense for like a couple of times, but I do agree with Christopher. Like, why are they making him pay every fucking time? Like, I compare this to kind of like the NFL and how they have like the rookie dinners. They pay for one dinner, and then after that, they pay for their own shit. You know, like, what's wrong with paying for your own shit? Like, you're not a woman. You don't have other people pay shit for you, you know? But, one evening, he forces Polly to pay, but Polly demands that Christopher repay him the next day and threatens that interest will be added if he does not. And he fucking complains to Tony about it, of course, Polly running his little fucking mouth. When he complains to Tony, he tells Christopher to keep paying the tabs as he himself once did. I mean, Tony tells him, I was once in this position. I was once a lower rank. So, yeah, you kind of just have to go with it if you want to earn rank, if you want to earn your keep, your stripes around here, if you will. So, in Atlantic City, Paulie contrives to inflate their dinner bill to nearly $1,200. Like, what a asshole. Like, he does it on purpose, because now he knows that it pisses Christopher off. So, as they argue in the parking lot, their waiter confronts Christopher about his poor tip, and when they dismiss him, he insults them. It's so funny. When they get insulted, Paulie's like, oh! That's like the funniest fucking thing that happens on the show when Paulie says that. Oh, man. He's like, whoa! That's so funny. An enraged Christopher throws a brick at his fucking head, which is absolutely insane. The waiter collapses and has a seizure, causing a panicked Paulie to shoot him dead. So it doesn't create a commotion. They just kill him and go on with it. So Paulie takes the $1,200 as he and Christopher speed off in their cars. The next day, they make amends and split the original tab, which is really nice to see them kind of form a good relationship. I feel like it's essential in this show for those two to kind of have a good relationship. But let's get going. Talking about new people, we have Michael Feach Lamano, who is a former capo of the now defunct Lamano crew, who is incarcerated during the 1980s. We have Angelo Garipe, who's a longtime Lupertazzi family consigliere. We have Phil Leotardo, who was capo of the Lupertazzi family, who was sent to prison in the early 1980s. And we have Tony Blondetto, who is Tony's cousin and DeMio Soprano crime family member, who was sent to jail in 1986 for hijacking a truck. So all sorts of new gangsters, all sorts of interesting stuff. Obviously that Raul guy, the Atlantic City waiter who complained to Paulie and Christopher about a poor tip, died. He got hit in the head with a brick. He had a seizure, and then he got shot in the chest. So not an important character, but I guess he died, so I guess that's kind of a major moment for the show. It was kind of fucking funny and kind of badass at the same time. He's like, oh! I don't know why that's so funny, but anyway, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We are going to be watching episodes all weekend, all the way probably up until Tuesday. So you probably will get 3 more reviews coming up. So season 5 is going to be in full